Hello! I've already done some videos about this new year, but as I reflect back on my life, there was a very interesting story happened to me about 5, 6 years ago. I had a very simple surgery being done to remove a lump that was on my shoulders, right underneath the skin. And when the nurses were putting the IV in, they weren't really paying attention to where they should put it. And after a little while, I was in the waiting room for a long time. I said, is the IV supposed to be in the same arm as the surgery? And they said, oh no. So they put an IV in the other arm and left the first IV in. Well, just so you know, I'm not a big fan of needles. I don't think very many people are, but I tend to have to do some breathing exercises because my body goes into a stress response. And for whatever reason, having two needles that were doing nothing, they weren't putting any medication in yet, having two needles in my arms was a little bit too much, and my body went into what's called a vasovagal response, and I passed out. But I didn't just pass out, my heart actually stopped and my breathing stopped for about 30 seconds, long enough that the nurse tried to wake me up, couldn't. She called for the crash cart. They wandered their way in and asked if she meant to call them, and they had the paddles ready. And that's how long my heart had stopped for. Well, this scared me. So I went to a heart doctor and wanted to make sure everything was okay with my body, with my heart, with my lungs, all of those things. And he did a number of tests, and at the end of the tests he said something very funny. He said there's nothing wrong with you, you just need to quit seeing doctors. Now, I'm not implying anything medical here, this is not a medical thing, but it was a joke that he said. And how often do we try to make things work, or relationships work, or being a part of a ecosystem work? How often do we try to force something to work and we think there's something wrong with us when it doesn't work? And sometimes the message is there's nothing wrong with you. You just need to quit seeing that person. You just need to quit trying to make something work that doesn't work. And so that's the message for you. If you had some difficult times with people, sometimes it's time to just say, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. This relationship just isn't right for you. And that's okay. Just like there was nothing wrong with my heart. I just need to be very careful about needles, and who I see. So I hope that helps. Remember that you were made perfect and that there is nothing wrong with you. There's room for growth, but that's perfect too. And that we're all perfectly imperfect. We're all idiots in different ways. And maybe that can help you have a little compassion for yourself and others, and have a beautiful rest of your day.